Hello. So this video is effectively a part 2 of the flight video where I sent the Meteor 85 out to 1.6 kilometers. In that flight I misjudged the battery and landed 100 meters short. So I wanted to get a flight in with the Meteor where I did come home successfully. So I'm still using the same 2S LiPo battery that I used on the previous flight. But after that flight I decided that I would try 1S 18650 on the quad. But the problem was that the analog VTX needed 5 volts, and of course the 1S 18650 outputs in the 3 volt range. So I knew I needed to change the VTX to something more suitable to a 1S voltage. So I decided then to combine a few of my problems, make a few tweaks and go again. So what I've effectively done here is taken the Meteor 85, swapped out the analog VTX for an Ascent Lite VTX. Now it maxes out at 100 milliwatts, but it is capable of operating down to 3 volts. While I was doing that change, I removed the whip ducted frame and just added a little carbon frame just to make things a little bit lighter and to reduce the drag a little bit. So in this flight it's effectively a Meteor 85 with a carbon frame and an Ascent Lite VTX. I know that the battery and the quad is capable of getting out to around 1.5 kilometers safely. The question is whether the goggles and VTX combination can do the same. So that's what my goal for this flight was: get the little quad out to 1.5 kilometers and back safely. And as you can see there, we're just approaching 1.4, we're nearly at the 1.5 mark, and the bit rate is still fairly respectable for the distance, the power, the goggles. Got to 1.5 kilometers and whipped around. And of course I got a little bit of blockiness in the video as the orientation of the antennas changed, but as soon as I got back around again, the bit rate still held quite low but suitable, and latency still very respectable for the VTX system. So we know the VTX, the power, quad are all capable now of getting out to 1.5 kilometers. It's just a matter of getting it home safely and onto the ground. And yes, normally with these kind of LiPo batteries you want to be getting onto the ground at around 3.5 volts, and we're very close to that. I know that if I let it sag a little bit below 3.5 down to 3.4, maybe 3.3, after it settles it'll return back and it shouldn't be doing too much damage to the battery. But of course in this kind of situation there's always a little bit of nerves and a little bit of sweat on whether you're going to get it back home in time. But spoiler alert, I do get it back and it was a successful flight. So what that means now is I can move forward with trying this little quad with a 1S 18650 pack. The quad is slightly lighter than what it was with the analog setup, so I've saved a few grams there which I can then spend on the weight of the 18650 pack. The RPM will be a lot lower on the motors, I'll need a lot more throttle, but with the quad being a little bit lighter it won't be as bad as it would have been. And the next test will be try and get the quad out to the same 1.5 kilometer distance but using a 1S 18650 cell instead of this 2S 530 LiPo. But yeah, there we go, the Ascent system was capable.